The significance of nurture in human development. According to psychologist perspectives, in explaining human behavior, nurture refers to all the aspects in our environment that have an impact on our personality. The idea of the nurture debate is that individual behavior is a product of environmental factors, which essentially means anything that occurs outside of the human body, such as people, events, and the physical world in which we live. The behavioral perspective of nurture is a theory that proposes that human behaviors, learning, social identity, intelligence, and personality are influenced by our interactions with our environment via the conditioning process. In other words, an individual behavior is simply a response to our environment. As a result, behaviorism theory is based on observable stimulus-response behaviors that are examined in a systematic and observable manner. MacLeod, 2020. Behaviorism was founded in the 19th century by a Russian scientist named Ivan Pavlov, who noticed that whenever he brought food to his dogs, they salivated, and was surprised that even when there was no food, the dogs drooled. This was the beginning of the concept of classical conditioning. Although the concept was discovered by chance, Pavlov took it to the next level after discovering it. The thought occurred to him, could he make them drool whenever he pleased? To respond to this question, Pavlov first identified the stimulus as food, and to extend his studies, he paired the sound of a bell with the dog's feeding. As a result, Pavlov was able to train the dogs drooling with the ring of the bell even when no food was present. Furthermore, Pavlov's studies affected John Watson. He believes that facts that can be measured must be used in order to accomplish progress in psychology that will affect human development. He gained a household celebrity as a result of his conviction that, through his studies, he can change a youngster into anyone or profession by utilizing the surroundings. This was proved in an experiment with a baby named Albert. Watson, for example, used classical conditioning to illustrate that human behaviors, identity, and personality are learnt through a classical conditioning process. It was used to demonstrate how classical conditioning can be used to produce unexplainable or illogical phobias in rats. Little Albert was not terrified of rats at first, but he was finally persuaded to fear them by utilizing a loud blast as a fear-inducing stimuli. Albert was gradually conditioned to fear rats after associating loud bangs with them. Little Albert's reaction to the loud noise was natural, thus his wailing was similar to that of a baby, similar to how dogs drooled in Pavlov's experiment at the sight or scent of foods, and another term for this is unconditioned response. Albert's behavior, on the other hand, was later conditioned to associate the sight of rat with loud noise by utilizing a rat as a stimulus that was cleverly linked with the noise, and despite the fact that he was not fearful of rat before, he was conditioned to correlate the sight of rat with loud noise. Finally, operant conditioning is a sort of conditioning that is comparable to the previously mentioned classical conditioning. Although there are parallels, the term reinforcement is used to compensate for